This question comes from at bored all day, but bored is spelled like a game board.
Hilarious. That's so good.
The question is, how can I improve my Manself and pizzazz levels?
That's a lot. That's a big question we've all asked ourselves at one point or another.
You wake up every morning, and you have to either convince yourself that your Manself and pizzazz levels are at a good moderate level that don't need shifting, or you say, all right now, I need to step it up a notch, pizzazz it up. This is what I'm going to do. Will, how do you go about this?
So Manself, is this manlyhood? Is this masculinity?
Well, I mean, there's yourself, yes, but then there's your man self. So whatever you would incorporate being the manly form of yourself. And this question could even be asked by a woman, but they just want to improve their man self.
I think everybody has some level of Manself in them, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the thing of like, you have a certain percent masculinity, certain percent femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever percent that masculinity is, how do I make it better?
Mm-hmm.
I guess the question is masculinity inherently good or bad? Because if masculinity is bad, it's like how do I make that bigger? It's like how do I become more of a dillweed to my friends or something like that? How do I emasculate them and tell them that they need to, do more squats or something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the question is asking, how do you improve your man self?
So it's not, I think we can go with it will err on the side of it being a positive thing, right? How do you make a better man self?
Every time I want to improve my man self, I look at myself in my man mirror. And I look at myself.
Where's that located?
It's in my it's in my man bathroom, and I look at myself I look at my man-made self in my man mirror, and I say yes or no. If I say yes, then there is nothing to improve, because some days you're just as perfect as you could ever be. And
we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for enough for today. Do I have enough good man self to get through it?
Improving your man self is gonna be a day-to-day process, right? You're never gonna be like, all right, so I've got my nice polo shirt on and my golf hat, and I'm ready to go chug a beer. And you're not just gonna be like, now I'm man self top tier for life. No. It's not that easy. If man life was that easy, then everybody would be man at top tier man level all the time. No,
what does it take?
Well, this is the thing. When you hit that, like the polo shirt, the golf hat, and the chug of beer, whatnot, you are improving your man self for the day. Good job. But then there's the second half of it. You look at your man-made self, and you've got to increase the pizzazz. That's something that is very hard to do at the same time as improving your man self, because...
So is pizzazz the lifelong version of man self, which is so man self is a daily thing, and pizzazz is kind of a lifelong thing?
Yes, it's like an annual thing.
As the old eulogy goes, teach a man to better his man self for the day, and he will eat for that day. Teach a man to improve his pizzazz, and he will eat for a lifetime, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah. I'm going to give you a tip from myself, and then I'm going to give you a tip from one of the comments, all right? So a tip from me on how to increase your pizzazz level, because I think man self is like you're very stoic, you're going to be very upright and very like have a strong presence, have a very mature presence, but pizzazz, in my opinion, is very theater-esque. Very enthusiastic, a little bit over the top, very contradictory to man self. So you're gonna want to make sure that every time you're drinking a beer, you're gonna bite into the side of a beer can, but then you're gonna do jazz hands off to the side.
One hand bite the beer can, other hand jazz hands.
And then every time that you go out to golf, because you're gonna go golfing if you wear a golf hat, you're gonna have the perfect clubs and the perfect swing, and you're gonna know all the rules of golf. But if you hit it into the water, your name is now Zac Efron. You're going to go look at your reflection. You're going to say, why am I feeling so wrong? My head's in the game, but my heart's in the song. And then you're just going to break into a song, all right? That's just how that's going to work, because that's how it's laid out in High School Musical. And High School Musical is the perfect documentary built on trying to balance man self and pizzazz. So if you want a good documentary, I could offer up some. That's High School Musical, Big with Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks, Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks. Sully with Tom Hanks. Toy Story 4 with Tom Hanks. Magic Mike, that's a good one. I don't think Tom Hanks is in that one. I don't know why they didn't cast him.
Tom Hanks, actually.
I just scratched that one.
I don't think that one would be that great now that I think of it. Yeah.
Splash with Tom Hanks.
Would that be for Manself or for Pizzazz?
That's the perfect showing of a balance. It's a perfect way to balance Manself and Pizzazz.
Oh, so what we're trying to tell you is be a male stripper.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, if Tom Hanks was in that movie, sure.
Sure.
We're telling you what? Run fast, be a kid but be old. Love a fish man. Be a cowboy toy. What else did I say? Green Mile with Tom Hanks. Be a prison guard.
Oh my goodness. He's a prison guard in Green Mile?
I'm pretty sure. I
live under a rock.
I don't know. Catch Me If You Can. Find Leonardo DiCaprio. That's another way to balance out your Manself and Pizzazz levels.
Yeah.
But the commenter took on a whole new perspective. So if you don't trust me and my Tom Hanks theory, trust the commenter. The commenter says, I'm just going to assume you misspelled pizza here and say that you should probably dump a jar of pizza sauce into your right pocket and a heaping handful of mozzarella cheese into your left. If you have back pockets, throw some water and flour into them. Mix and knead thoroughly until you form the dough, then give it a mouth to produce yeast naturally. Regularly continue applying the cheese and sauce every other day, and just keep the dough around for a while until you feel like you've improved your pizza levels.
Thank you, commenter. For that absolute dead end of a pizza comment.